New and improved reggae boys or same old inconsistencies? This is the perfect year for Jamaica to win the Gold Cup. But can they pull it off? Let's go. Welcome sports fans, welcome back to this or that Sports TV, the place you guys come to get the best, most interesting and everything sports topics, discussions and debates on the internet. But before I get into today's video, don't forget to like this one, leave a comment, subscribe to this or that Sports TV. And the one more thing from me, and that's to share the video to at least 10 people, get us 6 subscribers, because if each and every one of you guys can manage to do that, do you know how many subscribers that would get us by the end of the day, people? Yes, and it's Gold Cup time again. Obviously, by the title and the thumbnail, you guys can tell what I'm about to talk about. You see me? Gold Cup 2025, but this is a Jamaica preview. This is what I'm expecting from the Reggae Boys. This is what I think we will do. And just to keep the people up to date, so to know how the groups stay, how the squad stay, which match we're going to play, when we're going to play the match, them, all of that. Obviously, put a little bit of this or that Sports TV spin on it with the expectations. So, let's get right into it. First of all, I'm going to save the best part. Well, I'm not going to save the best part for last. I'm going to do the best part first. And I think that is about the expectations. What am I expecting from these Reggae Boys in the 2025 Gold Cup? People not gonna like this, but not much. If me be totally honest, not much. We're used to Jamaica playing very inconsistent in tournaments. We're used to Jamaica having good games, having bad games, having so-so games, and I'm expecting more of the same. I think obviously we got excited about the game that we played against Guatemala last week for the World Cup qualifiers, and that is our first game that will be played tonight, depending on when you're watching this video. I don't think it will be the same type of game. I don't think Guatemala will come and look as bad as they did. I think they'll have some more of their players. I think they'll have better players playing. So it will definitely not be the same type of game. And also, I'm not expecting Jamaica to come and have such a brilliant game again. When have we seen Jamaica come and play 2 great games back to back? You know, we haven't seen that for a while. And so I'm not expecting it this time around. You see me? And in terms of tournament play, and why I'm expecting inconsistency is just because this is also a team that is still getting it together. Yes, a lot of the players are playing in the squad for a while, but in terms of some of the most important players, they're just getting it together. You know, we just saw Liam Bailey have his best game. Liam Bailey is not a new player by any stretch of the imagination, but at the same time, I don't think Liam Bailey has enjoyed a long stretch of good form for Jamaica just yet. And so I hope that this game against Guatemala is a building block for what we're supposed to be seeing from Liam Bailey and what we're going to see from Liam Bailey in the future. In terms of Isaac Hayden, him not play 5 games for Jamaica yet, and he's one of the most important players for us. John Russell is just coming back into the squad, had a really good game for us in the midfield, and that will be so important. That midfield trio that we saw the other day, I think it's going to play a big part in this Gold Cup. You know, Demari Gray, John Russell, Isaac Hayden, and that midfield ever played 1 game together. And so I'm not expecting them to come and play teams off the park. But at the same time, I'm expecting them to have good games and have okay games. This Gold Cup, I don't want to see any bad games. That's not what I'm looking out for. But I am expecting to see some level of inconsistency this Gold Cup. That's just the truth. Jamaica is always inconsistent. This is not a knock to the coach. This is not a bash on the federation even. This is not a bash on anybody. It's just a matter of I'm expecting Jamaica to be what they have always been. You see me? I'm expecting us to do what we always do. It's just that I am also low-key, this is like a low-key expectation, not the main mark, just a little bit under that. You get me? I say, but kinda expect as the competition go on, Jamaica to get better. I'm expecting the team to get better as the competition go on. And so when we get to the predictions part of the competition, me will make my prediction. But in terms of expectations and performances, me I expect Jamaica to be inconsistent and improve with the competition. Straight up and down. Now let's get into some of the other stuff. Let's talk about the squad for a second, car. We not do no squad breakdown, we not do nothing. Yes, let's do it. So, talk about the squad real quick and what I think about the squad. I'm gonna grade the squad. People only can make me know what they think about the squad also. So, the squad for the Gold Cup 2025 edition is Andre Blake, Shaquan Davis, Jamal Waite in goal. Pretty straightforward, not much to complain about. people who know my opinion on the goalkeeping situation. I think Boyce Clark should be a part of the setup, but if Boyce Clark now play consistently at a high level and not doing well at a high level, then you cannot get a call up. No, Shaquan Davis is one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. A lot of people call him the best goalkeeper in Jamaica. Me not go there so argue about who forget the third string place. You understand? And Andre Blake is going nowhere anytime soon. Jamal Lewis is clearly the second place. The second goalkeeper. Me not have a problem with Shaquan Davis coming. It's cheaper to bring him. He's never going to play anyways. There's nothing to talk about. You see me? So I think we have a good goalkeeping unit, and I'm confident in Andre Blake to have a good Gold Cup. Next, the defensive line. I'm talking about Richard King, Damian Lowe, Ethan Pinnock, Dexter Lembikisa, Kyle Ming, Greg Lee, Amari Bell, Mason Holgate, and Joel Latibo. There again, defensive line, not awful, not bad. I think I'm okay with it. People may not go on and on. I think the conversation is tired now, talking about JPL players. And the only person I could mention here is Kyle Ming, who is a good JPL player. I don't think he's going to get any game time, so I'm not even going to talk about him. A lot of people that probably say him take a spot from somebody. The truth is, me not really business about it. You see me? Nah, I go play anyways. It's fine. Good defensive unit though. You see me? In terms of who I expect to play, Richard King, Damian Lowe, Ethan Pinnock, I expect to get a lot of game time. Dexter Lembikisa, Amari Bell, and Joel Latibo there. You see me? Mason Holgate also. So I think we're gonna do some rotation, but solid defensive line. Not much to complain about. I think this is what I've always said about this Jamaican squad. It's supposed to pick itself. We know who the best 23 to 26 players are. It's just a matter of, that one in, that one out, that two that we can dispute. And this is what I'm seeing. The team pick itself. It's just the few that, you can dispute, or the few that you want to say, me don't know how that man make it or whatever. But it shouldn't be 5, 6, 7, 10 man where I say, they are clearly people better than. No. Onto the midfield, which is the thinnest part of this team and the part that we are going to struggle, and we often struggle. Casey Palmer, Dwayne Atkins, Jonathan Russell, Bobby Reed, Isaac Hayden. Now, people, if may I be totally honest with you, I'm not pleased with this part of the team. And it's mainly because of Dwayne Atkins. I think Dwayne Atkins is a phenomenal footballer. I think he's really good. He's one of the best, if not the best, attacking midfielders in the country. He's one of the best forwards in the country. Some now say him being in the team is crazy. What I am saying though is there are better players out there that could have gotten that call up to play in the midfield, especially to bolster the midfield. I don't think Dwayne Atkins will get on the park, and I think a player like a Karai Anderson would be better suited to get this call up. He's also very young, younger than Dwayne Atkinson, and I think that would be better. He's not going to play as an attacking midfielder. You might say him can double pan the wing them, but he's not listed here as a forward. You get me? I say so. I don't know. I'm not pleased with Dwayne Atkins being here in the squad, but at the same time, it's a cheap option. It's the final midfielder who is never going to play. Am I going to spend 10 minutes here complaining about why Dwayne Atkins should be in the squad? No. But I think the squad could have improved had we had a Kara and the in a spot like that. You see me? Forward line now, which is where we're supposed to be making our money and winning these titles, is Warner Brown, Burrell, Kaim Dixon, Tyrese Campbell, Mikel Antonio, Liam Bailey, Demar Gray, Ronaldo Cephas, and Romario Williams. I keep on saying Ronaldo. What's wrong with me? Anyways, forward line pretty pleased. I think Shaman Nicholson was done by, I must say. I think Shaman Nicholson should have made this squad, not only based on what he means to the Jamaica team and what he brings to the team off the pitch, his leadership, how he allows the team to gel together. Shaman Nicholson is very important to Jamaica's squad. And so I don't buy what the coach is saying about him being unfit or whatever. Mikel Antonio not play football since him crash. In fact, Mikel Antonio is coming off an accident. Shaman Nicholson has been playing football. Alright, he's not in the greatest of form in Mexico. He had a transfer. Come on, we can give Shaman Nicholson some grace. And at the same time, the same amount of time that he's had to get fit is the same amount of time that some of these players that aren't necessarily playing at the club level. As I said, Mikel Antonio is not playing at all, and he got a call up. No, I'm not saying Mikel Antonio enough for the squad, but Romario Williams or somebody could have been sacrificed for Shaman Nicholson. Again, these players are all phenomenal players. They are all great athletes. But Shaman Nicholson means a lot to this team. Shaman Nicholson has served the reggae ball as well, and Shaman Nicholson is still one of the best 26 Jamaican players, and definitely should feel done by that he's not in the squad. I'm gonna take that back straight up and down. Now, if I'm supposed to grade the squad, I am going to give this squad a B+. I don't know if we can necessarily give it an A just yet, because as I said, there are 2 or 3 names in the squad where I think we could have improved the squad. There are some players out that I would like to see in the squad, that may injured or whatever. I'm not going to bring up name them, because that's just another point of contention, which I don't want to have that conversation there right now. But I'm going to give the squad a B+. I think this is a very, very good squad. I think we should do well with this squad. You see me, people? So let me know what phone squad rating, who would you want in the squad, who you're not happy with being in the squad, how we can go from there. Next, we're going to talk about the group that Jamaica is in the 2025 Gold Cup. Before we get to the fixtures, we're talking about Group A of Mexico, Costa Rica, Suriname and Dominican Republic. Group B, we're talking about Canada, Honduras, El Salvador, Curacao, Panama, Jamaica, Guatemala, Guadeloupe. In group, that's Group C. We're talking about Group D now, where we have USA, Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago, and Saudi Arabia. People, obviously the Gold Cup started 2 days ago. A few games have been played already, and Jamaica kicks it off tonight at 10 p.m. Maybe 9, whatever, somewhere around there. And I think we're in a tough group. I don't think this group is going to be easy. I think we need to get the job done where it is necessary and make sure that we make it out the group. Now, people, I think Group A is the group of death, but I think we're closely behind. I think this is a very competitive group. Now, Group A have Mexico, Costa Rica, Suriname, and Dominican Republic. All good teams, all teams that are going to make a run in this group. All good teams. I watched the Costa Rica game last night, and that's a very, very good game. The Dominican Republic almost get something from the Mexico game. So I think that is going to be the closest group. I think that is the group of death. But Jamaica with Panama. Panama is no joke. Panama, one of the best teams in CONCACAF. Guatemala, I think, has a chip on their shoulder, and they're going to turn up Guadeloupe on the come up. Not necessarily going to be fighting for anything in this group. They're just there to make up the numbers in the group, straight up and down. You see me? So I think we are in a competitive group, but all in all, I think we're supposed to be able to get the job done. Top 2 go on to the quarterfinals, and expect Jamaica to do well from there. So can't complain about our position in the group, can't complain about teams that are in the group, and in terms of the matches that we're going to play, I am pretty confident in them, but I do think the performances will go up and down. Let me see what else the on my list we talk about. People, let's talk about the Gold Cup for a second, and Jamaica's playing in the Gold Cup. So obviously we know that Jamaica, we've been doing well objectively in the Gold Cup, but by our standards, I can't say by our standards, from our expectations, I think we're not pleased. And I think it's time that Jamaica wins the Gold Cup. People, think about it. In 2015 we went to the finals. 2017 we went to the semi-finals, I want to say. 2019 we went to the finals. So 2015 and 2019 we went to the semi-finals. 2017 we went to the finals. 2021 we bounced in the quarterfinals. 2023 we went to the semi-finals. So Jamaica is always thereabouts, people, and sometimes not even playing our greatest football and still getting to the semi-finals. This have to be the time where we get it over the line, people. It have to be. No, that is the fan in me. Obviously the analyst and the objective thinker in me is saying that we're not going to, but I think we have an opportunity to, and I think we can. Don't get me wrong, people. I think we can. I just don't think we will be able to get over the line this time. I do want us to do it though. You see me? So let's get back to the squad for a second as I talk about some players that I'm going to look out for in this Gold Cup. A few players actually, and some of them is not the clear-cut answer that a lot of people would come up with when you think about players that will have an impact in this Gold Cup. And I would call them the X-factor players that are important to Jamaica doing well. If Jamaica does well in this Gold Cup, these players are the ones that are going to allow Jamaica to go over the top. And so let's talk about them. first one I'm going to talk about is Ronaldo Cephas. Ronaldo Cephas is my number one X Factor player for the Jamaican squad. Lightning quick pace, I would not be surprised if Ronaldo Cephas is the fastest player in CONCACAF. I don't care about Alphonso Davis. Ronaldo Cephas, I think, is the fastest player in CONCACAF. Nobody can run this dude, and if you give him space, you're going to get burned. And I think for Jamaica to perform well, Ronaldo Cephas has to perform well and allow us to have threat on both sides of the field. I think Liam Bailey is going to attract players just based on his name alone. Even if him not play well, he's going to get doubled. Ronaldo Cephas, I think, has to earn his double team. And so I think he will start the game with an opportunity to get us in behind and create some opportunities. Now, a lot of people complain about Ronaldo Cephas, and for the past year, we've been having this conversation on this side at Sports TV and even with people in person about Ronaldo Cephas. I've been at games, Ronaldo Cephas need to come off of the pitch, blah, blah, blah. And I've never been on that train. Even when Ronaldo Cephas is having a bad game, I want to keep him on the pitch because I think it's just his pace alone can get him out of trouble. And also, Ronaldo Cephas on a bad day creates so many opportunities for Jamaica that I want him on the pitch. Even if he's not playing well, he's going to create so many good things for us. He's going to do so many things well. He's going to create so many opportunities. Even if the final decision is not great, he's going to create so many opportunities that you always want to play like that on the pitch. He's going to get in the box. The other day, I don't think Ronaldo Cephas was having a great game in the... you think it was a Unity Cup, I believe? I think it was a Unity Cup. Oh, I think so. You know, and he never have him greatest game and then boom, affect the game. You know, I remember in St. Vincent and the Grenadines game back in March, Ronaldo Cephas wasn't having his great game, still managed to get on the score sheet, still managed to create opportunities. And so that is why I like Ronaldo Cephas as a player. That is why I always want Ronaldo Cephas on the pitch, and them are great. That is why he left wing back gone. Because the truth is, Ronaldo Cephas with his pace, and I think he needs to improve his IQ, his football IQ, and just his awareness and making the final decision well. And I think he is improving that in the people. I think he might get better. He might switch it up. He might go down the line, cross it sometimes. Sometimes he might cut it. Sometimes he might stop it and turn it back. And so that unpredictability gives him a little bit more edge. But in terms of his pace, just sheer pace alone, it is going to create so many good opportunities for Jamaica. And so Ronaldo Cephas is integral to Jamaica playing some good football. The second player that I think is so important to Jamaica having a good Gold Cup tournament is, drumroll, Isaac Hayden. I think Isaac Hayden is one of the most important, if not the most important player in this Jamaican squad, because we've been longing for a midfielder for so long, and I think we finally, I'm not going to say got one, but I think we finally got as close to getting one as we're ever going to get. Isaac Hayden is a really, really good footballer. Obviously he's fallen out of favour in Newcastle, but that doesn't change the fact that he's a good footballer. Now, is he match fit? Is he ready to show us his best? I'm not quite certain yet, but from what I saw in that Guatemala game, he was running the show, especially in that first half. Passes were always on time. It was so refreshing to see a Jamaica central midfielder can pick the ball up and his passes always be on time and on point. Picking the ball from left back and put it all the way out to the right wing, and it's landing at his feet. Liam Bailey must feel so good to get a ball switch wings and fall so perfectly to him when he can get it under control. And so Isaac Hayden for me is the second X-Factor player for Jamaica in this Gold Cup, and I think he's going to do well. I think he just needs to help the team with his patience, with his composure, get us up the pitch as much as he can. And one thing I like about him, which again, I take a knock at Ravel Morrison, is he has patience, but he's not slow with the ball. Ravel Morrison have the ball, and Ravel Morrison now get the ball out in time. Ravel Morrison now take too much touch on the ball. Ravel Morrison now slow down the game. Isaac Hayden is a perfect balance between the pace of game and being on point. So playing the game at his own pace and always being on time and on point with his actions. And so that is why I think Isaac Hayden is going to have a big impact on this Reggae Boys Gold Cup campaign. The third player that I'm going to talk about, people, and I think everybody's excited to see this player have his first Gold Cup campaign for Jamaica, and that is Warner Brown. Warner Brown, people, that man is a man on fire, and that man is not going to be playing football in Jamaica for much longer. I think right after this Gold Cup, Warner Brown should get a contract out there to Europe or to America. Warner Brown is an outstanding footballer, people. Warner Brown, first touch, great. Hold up play, great. Clinical, pace, fight, heart, work rate. Warner Brown have the full package, people. And now him still have ways to go and still can grow in him game some more. But he's so hungry. And I was talking to somebody the other day and I told him about Warner Brown. I'm asking, what do you think I'm him biggest attribute and what I like about him the most? And obviously they said that he's just a good striker and can kick the ball well, blah 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 blah, him hold up play. And people, I think Warner Brown's greatest asset that allows him to play so well for Jamaica and even for Arnett Garden, because he's a real good goal scorer, people. I think his greatest asset is his short memory. You know, when the man they miss a goal, him not remember. He missed a really good opportunity in the Guatemala game where he put one over the bar from in the 6-yard box. I'm thinking him never play like him remember that. You get me? As every time you get the opportunity to kick him a kick, and he's not selfish. But me not go up on a tangent here. I think his best attribute is just the ability to forget when he misses a chance and take the next one. So Warner Brown for me, top player. Warner Brown, the third X Factor player for Jamaica. People, I'm just going to do 3 X Factor players for now. I'm also going to have a next segment which are players that needs to have a good tournament for Jamaica. So those are the 3 X Factor players, right? Ronaldo Cephas, Isaac Hayden, and Warner Brown. Then I'm going to do 3 players that needs to have a good tournament for the Reggae Boys. The first player that I think needs a good tournament right now is Bobby Reid. People, Bobby Reid is ever consistent, but he ever consistently average. That might sound a bit harsh, people. I say, Bobby Reid plays some good football for Jamaica, don't get me wrong. Bobby Reid has been one of the best Jamaican players over the years. But I think Bobby Reid's effectiveness is just going still, and I want to see some more energy from Bobby Reid. I want to see some more, you know, me that say something to, I think, Joe Mar sometime early in the year or last year. Me say, yo, I can't remember seeing Bobby Reid run past somebody as a forward or as an attacker. I just can't remember it. And so I think Bobby Reid needs some more hunger to his game. And I'm saying not hungry as a player. I think to his game, he needs some more zeal. I think Bobby Reid needs to show it some more on the pitch and work a bit harder on the pitch. You get me? I'm saying defensively, I'm not talking about working hard, but when we have the ball, I'm being a bit more creative, having some ingenuity. Be creative with the ball, be creative with the style of play. Use the IQ we have, because Bobby Reid is a very smart footballer. But again, people, Bobby Reid's playing for Jamaica right now is just not in the greatest place. Very, very good footballer, served the country well, but right now it's not in the greatest place, and I think Bobby Reid needs to have a good tournament. Another player that I think needs to have a good tournament is Casey Palmer. I think a lot of people are looking at Casey Palmer as a player that has all the potential in the world. But Casey Palmer have 2 problems when me see with him. Casey Palmer get tired too fast. Casey Palmer, as a central midfielder, get tired way too fast. You see the man, they out of breath in the first half. Losing pace in the midfield in the first half, out of position in the first half. And so he needs to improve that. But the second thing for Casey Palmer is just being consistent with his play. Casey Palmer is so good where he will have a 20-minute spell in the game where every pass on point, every touch on point, him control them close, him half turn them good, and then the next 5 minutes or the next 15 minutes him just have 3 turnover in the middle of the park and allow the team to get into the game. And so I think Casey Palmer is the second player who needs to have a good tournament for Jamaica. The third player that I think needs to have a good tournament for Jamaica and people is all up the pitch. I think Jamaica backline is doing well. Me not have a problem. None of them, I don't even talk about none of them. The third player that needs to have a good Gold Cup tournament for Jamaica is Demarai Gray. People, Demarai Gray came to play for Jamaica and we saw lightning out the blocks. They get me and say we saw goals, we saw assists. He started as good as you can start. Now Warner Brown would have some conversation for that. Shaman Nichols would have some conversation for that. But in terms of just getting off the mark and kicking the doors down as you came in, Demarai Gray did exactly that. Started with goals, started with assists, started with good play, impacting the game well. But like Bobby Reid, it's also gone still for Demarai Gray. He's not impacting the game as much out there on the wing. He never uses his left foot. He plays on the left wing and rarely ever puts in left-footed crosses. So teams find it very, very easy to mark Demarai Gray. Plays in the midfield. We're seeing a little bit better play from Demarai Gray in the midfield. But he's also one of those players that need to be a bit more consistent, be a bit more dangerous. Use the pace that you have. Use that phenomenal shot that you have. Use the smarts that you have. Use the football IQ baller. You know, that's what we need from Demarai Gray. We can't afford so many of these players looking to someone else to do it. And sometimes I feel like I get that from Demarai Gray. where he doesn't think that he's the player that is going to win the game for Jamaica. I think these attackers, all of them need to approach the game that way. Where if Demar Gray thinks that him gonna score the goal, Warner Brown think that him gonna score the goal, Liam Bailey think that him gonna score the goal, it can only produce good things. But I think Demar Gray approaches the game whereas he thinks he needs to have a good game, and that is okay. No, Bala, you need to win the game for it. That is why you're here. You're a difference maker in this team, and you started as a difference maker. But as the team is getting better, I don't think he is accepting of that defense maker role. And so those are the three players that I think needs to have a good tournament for Jamaica. Bobby Reed, Demar Gray, and Casey Palmer. Yes, it. Next, I'm going to talk about Jamaica's tactical play and how I expect them to play in the Gold Cup. I expect Jamaica to give us more of the same that we saw in the Guatemala game, people. This is not contradicting. I said that we're going to be inconsistent. That doesn't mean that we're not going to be trying something. We're just going to be inconsistent at it. I think we're going to see more of that right inverted fullback. You know, whether it be Dexter Lembikisa or Latibodir, I want to see Latibodir that Lembikisa. If we play Lembikisa, do the overlap. If we're playing Latibodir, do the inverting or inversion. Sorry. You see me? That's what I expect Jamaica to be playing. Starting with John Russell in that midfield, allowing John Russell to play up the park, allow John Russell to be that late runner into the box and getting on the end of crosses, getting on the end of pullbacks. That is how I expect Jamaica to play, with pace. Get the ball up the field as fast as possible, commit numbers as fast as possible. And people, you should know that I'm excited about how Jamaica is playing right now, because I am of the belief for the past 2 years now that Jamaica needs to be playing chaotic football. We need to be committing numbers forward, getting up the field as fast as possible, and just take as many shots as possible because we have the attackers to do it. No, I think Steve McLaren is not necessarily taking the approach of playing chaotic football. He's finding the perfect balance between possession football and all-out attacking football. And I think we sit somewhere in the middle. Where in that Guatemala game, we saw the build-up. We saw passing the ball around. I mean, I talk about starting from Andre Blake. Yes, it did start from Andre Blake, but it didn't linger at the back very much. Also, Guatemala helped with that because they weren't pressing us as much. But we kept the ball in our backline. We kept it in our midfield. And then we slowly transitioned it to the attacking line, and then we hit them. And so I'm okay with that. I think we're finding the perfect balance, and that is how I expect Jamaica to play. Use that right inverted fullback to unlock Liam Bailey on the wing. Unlocking Liam Bailey on the wing also unlocks Ronaldo Cephas on the wing and Warner Brown up top. And that allows John Russell to move forward, be that late runner into the box and affect the game well from that attacking midfield position. That is the style of play. And people, it feels so refreshing also to have Jamaica play in a way that I can identify. It feels so good. For so long, I've been saying that I don't know what we're trying to do. I'm so confused. Are we playing long ball? Are we trying to do possession ball? Where should the midfielders be? What should Liam Bailey be doing? Coming inside or being outside? Should the wing backs be overlapping? I don't know. But I feel like for the last 2 games that we played, I think I know exactly what Jamaica is trying to do. I know the style of play. We use an inverted fullback to allow us to transition the ball up the park well and allow us to have overloads in the midfield, isolated wingers, get crosses into the box, and commit numbers forward. Straightforward. I just told you Jamaica's style of play in less than a minute. And it's been the first in a while that I have been able to do that, isn't it? So I'm very excited to see. And I'm expecting the team, as I said, as the competition progresses, to do well with that. You see me? Next, let's talk about the fixtures that we have in the group stage. So obviously we have 4 teams in the groups: Jamaica, Guatemala, Guadeloupe, and Panama. We played the first game against Guatemala. So now people, we have back-to-back games against Guatemala. We just get them 3-0. I think they're coming back for blood. But I do think we will be able to beat Guatemala in this game. I don't think it will be as convincing as we did in the National Stadium. I hope it is. But I don't think it will be. Guatemala improved their team. They got some more of their starting players back, and I think that will help them to play some better football. Also, again, just expecting Jamaica to be Jamaica and play some inconsistent football. So, just from that point of view, I'm not expecting us to do a lot in this game, but I'm expecting Jamaica to pull away and win the game. Maybe a 1-0 or a 2-1 or a 2-0. You know, something like that. Maybe a 3-2. I think the game will be a bit closer than we saw in the National Stadium. The second game will be played on the 20th of June against Guadeloupe, and I think this is the game where we need to stamp our class, show Guadeloupe that they're out of their weight class, beat them up, get them a 3-0, Give them a 4-1, give them a 4-0. Keep it moving. I'm not saying Guadeloupe is not a decent team, but we are supposed to be one of the favorites in this group, and we are supposed to be one of the best teams in the competition. So when we get these teams that are not necessarily the top 5, we're supposed to make them know so we are top 5. That's how I see it. Next, we're going to play Panama on the 24th of June, and this is going to be the hardest game for Jamaica in the group, because Panama is one of those teams that will also make it to the World Cup. You get me, I say? For them group now, as easy still. And crazy enough, Guatemala is also in the World Cup qualifiers group with Panama. But I saw that going. Them also have El Salvador in a them group too. So it's not going to be easy for them in the World Cup qualifiers. But right now, I think they should safely make it to the quarterfinals in the Gold Cup. And I also think Jamaica should safely make it to the quarterfinals in the Gold Cup. You see me? But this will be our hardest game. 7 p.m. on the 24th on a Tuesday. We will be playing Panama, and this is a good test for Jamaica. The first 2 games we can use for sharpen our skills a little bit. Make sure say we'll have the style of play down pat. Make sure say we'll play a few of our players into form. Make sure say Liam Bailey get on the score sheet a few times. Make sure say Warner Brown have it firing. Make sure say Ronaldo Cephas a tick. Make sure say Isaac Hayden a tick. Make sure say that partnership between Ethan Pinnock and Damian Lowe is also firing. Make sure so that I go on for the first 2 games, and then the last game against Panama come and see where we're at with competing with the top 5. Straight up, if we lose that game, it's also not going to be the end of the world, but I think Jamaica can beat Panama. Panama is a good team. It's not that we have enjoyed success against Panama over the years, but we can beat Panama, and we have beaten Panama. And so I'm expecting us to have a very good, very, very good game. This game I'm predicting a draw. So I guess I can transition to the predicting part of the video now. First game, I'm expecting Jamaica to beat Guatemala 2-1. I'm expecting us to beat Guatemala 2-1. Guadeloupe, I'm expecting to beat Guadeloupe 4-1. I'm expecting Jamaica to beat Guadeloupe 4-1. I'm expecting Jamaica to beat Panama 1-0. Jamaica tops the group. It's confusing. I just confuse myself right now because I know I'm confusing. Because I say we're going to be inconsistent, but that may be with the performance. It may be. Because I think it is very possible, it's in the realm of possibility for Jamaica to come out and give Guadeloupe 1-0, our course, and say what a performance was that. I think it's in the realm of possibility for Jamaica to come out against Guatemala and draw the game 1-1 or 0-0. People, I am battling between a fan and an analyst at the moment, and so my predictions may come off as a fan, while my analysis comes off as an analyst. Bear with it, I just saw it go. You see it? So that's what I'm expecting from the team. Now let's transition into the final part of the video, which is the standout players for Jamaica. So I'm going to make predictions. Who will be the leading goal scorer in this tournament? The leading goal scorer for Jamaica in the 2025 World Cup will be no other than Warner Brown. I think Warner Brown will have an outstanding competition. I think he wants it more than anybody else wants it, and I think Warner Brown will lead these Jamaican teams with goals for this tournament. Next category is the most important player, the most valuable player for this Jamaican squad in the 2025 Gold Cup. Who will it be? Bing, Ronaldo Cephas. I think Ronaldo Cephas will be the most valuable player. People, I am high on Ronaldo Cephas, and I saw it go. Man, I probably say glazing, but I saw it go. I think Ronaldo Cephas will have an outstanding tournament also. I think he will also get some goals. I think he'll be very dangerous. I think everybody will see that pace. You see me? Ronaldo Cephas will be the MVP, and Mickey maybe can give me an next MVP. You see me? I think Damian Lowe will also be an next MVP. You get me? I think Damian Lowe will have a good competition. He loves these moments. He loves playing these tournaments. So that's it for me, people. This is the video. This is let's call it 2025 Gold Cup Jamaica campaign preview. That's a long title, but I saw it go. You see, if you like it though, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to this Standout Sports TV, and the one more thing from me, that's to share the video to at least 10 people, get to 6 subscribers, because if each and every one of you guys can manage to do that, do you know how many subscribers that would get us by the end of the day, people? But for now, this are anyways, people, this was Standout Sports TV, and I got McCann.